Today I'm going to talk about spiritual strongholds. Spiritually speaking, a stronghold is anything that puts itself before God in your life. It is a weakness where Satan can attack you to draw you away from God. Strongholds include things like sinful attitudes, beliefs, or addictions, as well as bad habits that enslave you and result in you doing the very thing you don't want to do as a Christian. You don't wake up one day with an unhealthy stronghold. James 1:14 and 15 says, "Each person is tempted when they are dragged away by their own evil desires and enticed. Then after desire has conceived, it gives birth to sin, and sin, when it is full grown, gives birth to death." So strongholds are a process that starts off with an evil desire that turns into bad thoughts, that become repeated actions and turn into habits that become strongholds. We call them strongholds because they are so difficult to let go of. We often hold on to them because we think they define us, when in fact they tear us down. So how do we remove these strongholds? Well, first, you need to understand with whom and where our fight is. Ephesians 6:12 says, "Our struggle is not against flesh and blood, but against the rulers and against the authorities and against the powers of this dark world, and against the spiritual forces of evil in the heavenly realms." In other words, you can't fight this battle yourself. You won't win. We need the Word of God to fight back. In 2 Corinthians 10:5 it says, "We need to cast down everything that exalts itself against the knowledge of God and bring every thought into captivity to the obedience of Christ." The best weapon we have is changing our thoughts and actions is the Word of God. We need to constantly renew our mind through reading, studying, and meditating on the Word. Romans 12:2 tells us, "Do not conform to the patterns of this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind. Then you will be able to test and approve what God's will is, His good, pleasing, and perfect will." Commit yourself to reading and studying the Word of God. We find in Hebrews 4:12 that the Word of God is living and powerful and sharper than any two-edged sword, piercing even to the division of soul and spirit and of joint and marrow, and is a discerner of the thoughts and intents of the heart. Ask God to show you the strongholds in your life. Study and use His words to address them, and ask God to give you the strength to let them go. Let go of all those things that you're hanging on to and put Christ first in your life. Hope to see you again soon.